All right.
We are back on episode. Soroka, do you know which episode number this is?
19, I believe.
19. Episode 19 with Ricky Garard, who needs no introduction probably at this point. Ricky, good afternoon, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Just chilling here at Mitch's house outside in the Vegas heat.
Yeah, it looks good on you.
I'm actually
kind of funny. I've never
because I'm still cold from the ice bath.
Yeah, I was gonna say you still look a little like recovering from it. This is my first time recording a podcast where I hung out with somebody an hour before we recorded. So, I even like Soroka, me and Ricky are in the sauna, and I'm thinking to my head, like, I can't ask too many questions in the sauna because it won't be as raw, because in a sauna, you get to know people in the sauna.
Yeah, it's a close environment.
I thought
we're doing cold tub and sauna together, and I'm like, I gotta wait to ask the good questions later because So there was just moments of silence in the sauna where I'm like, man, I want to talk right now.
I thought you were being a bit weird and a bit quiet.
Weird. Oh man. Well, Ricky, thanks for jumping on. I'm excited to chat. I mean, a little bit of background on the Athlete Stories podcast. I know that you've been on a handful of podcasts in your day, but not only do we get to talk about CrossFit, and we'll talk about the games, and we'll talk about current events and stuff, but I'm interested in learning your life story, right? At least an abbreviated version of it. So we'll get into that a little bit.
Sure.
But before we dive into that, quick shout out to our partner, Soroka. Are you ready to throw this up?
Yep.
Like a 30-second clip. It'll cover your face. Ricky, you can take a short break. This show is brought to you by WODproof Bionic. WODproof Bionic launched a program to help pro members improve their mobility and range of motion while becoming better overall athletes. WODproof Bionic tracks and analyzes movement in real time with the goal of providing unique mobility plans for everyone. There's a link in the show notes where you get a free week of WODproof Bionic, so make sure you check that out. The show is also brought to you by X Endurance Sports Supplements. It's one of the only supplements out there approved by Informed Sport for professional athletes. And in the link in the show notes, there's also a discount to X Endurance. So make sure you check those both out either during the show or after the show. But back to the show. All right. So, Ricky, before we kind of dive into your story, let's talk about current events. We were at the gym and we found out about good old Phil Toon, who we recently had on the show, who, despite whatever may or may not be happening, I think is a hell of an athlete. But what were your first thoughts when you heard about that?
Yeah, it kind of brought back some memories for myself, which was never a pleasant time. But I'm sure the dude has a story behind it, and there's always two sides to the story, and everyone's going to be quick to jump on the bandwagon and try and put him into the ground and kick him while he's down. And I kind of feel sorry for the guy, and I was looking forward to competing with him and against him at the games. I thought he was a really good athlete and very talented and still very young. So yeah, it's a shame, but yeah,
it is. Do you think your experience helped you gain a different level of empathy and understanding towards athletes like this? Like, obviously it's not something that you would recommend that they do, but being, when they get in trouble for it, are you kind of like, hey, I get it? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely felt a bit more empathetic towards him when I did see that this morning. And I know, thinking back to my situation when I was nearly 5 years ago now, I was a lot younger, and back then I didn't take it as professionally as I do now, and I would walk into a supplement store or take advice from anyone and everyone and just never think twice of it. And it could be a similar situation to what he's gone through. He might have just taken advice off the wrong people and not looked into it as much as he should have. And yeah, it's a tough situation, and I hope he's all right.
Yeah, I'm sure he appreciates that. What about Nick Joel? I mean, he had this interesting. See, bye, Soroka.
I'll come in and out.
He had this interesting approach where he came out ahead of it, and You know, he kind of worked the podcast circuit, and he gained a lot of, I would say, community empathy. You know, Savon, I don't know if you watched the show with Savon, but Savon said that he felt like his father.
No, I didn't say that. But
You got to go back and watch it. But you know, Savon's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, do you think that changes anything, like coming out ahead of it, or do you think it's all bad? You know what I mean?
In hindsight, what's happened is going to happen. But I think coming out before CrossFit is probably a smart idea. I know my situation. Like there was emails back and forth, and before I even received an email response, it was blowing up on Facebook and Instagram, and my phone was just going nuts, and it was a lot to handle at one time. So I think coming out earlier just kind of gives you that opportunity to kind of give people a warning and give yourself a bit of time to sink in what's about to go down. And I can see why the guys have jumped on it earlier.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for either Nick Joel or Phil Toon or any of the other athletes that have been popped, you know, recently, like mindset advice? Like, how did you get through that time? You know what I mean? Like, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a hard pill to swallow. Obviously, yeah, you can't change what's happened, so it's a matter of just getting on with it and accepting the mistake you've made and the fault you've made, and just kind of cop it on the chin. And yeah, to be honest, man, I just took it one day at a time when it happened to me. The further I thought forward about things and how I wanted it to be different, the worse it became, and the more frustrated and angry I was. And yeah, I literally just had to just almost forget about it and just focus on my day-to-day life and my own general health and just the people I was surrounding myself with and my family, and just made sure I had the right support network around me. And obviously, like, I still loved CrossFit and I love the methodology and the training. So I never stopped that. Like, I always love the feelings I get from training. So I still would turn up most days and just get a workout in just to feel good. And yeah, I took up some like sports that I did as a kid. I kind of got back into those, like mountain biking, and try to get back on the surfboard and get back on my motorbike and just do things that I loved growing up, just to kind of keep myself occupied and busy and not go insane.
Yeah, man. Is there a piece of you, like, you know, in my life and many others, when you look at hard things that happen, right? And you've said it a few times, or I've heard you say it in our conversations. You know, everything happens for a reason, and I'm a pragmatist. Or I'm so practical that, of course, everything happens for a reason. Like, we get in trouble because we make trouble and things like that. Like, when you look back, are you grateful for that experience? Like, I'm sure that you wouldn't, you know, kind of like our earlier conversation in the sauna. I wouldn't have wished my life on anybody, but I'm grateful that it's happened.
Yeah.
Are you the same, or were you like, nah, give me those 4 years back?
I don't know. I go a bit both ways when I think about it. Like, obviously, if I could take the 4 years back, I feel like this would be my sixth year competing at the CrossFit Games. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would have been out there every year, up there mixing it with Vellner and Fikowski and Fraser when he was there. I feel like I would have been there with those boys every year the last 5 years. So when I think about it like that, it's a little frustrating. But on the other side of things, it's like, I think it's developed me into a much more grateful and honest sort of person. I am very more grateful for my life and people around me and my friends and my support network, and it's really taught me to, like, why do I want to do it, and like all my goals and stuff like that. Like it really made me realize how much it means to me to chase this dream of being a world champion and trying to win the CrossFit Games. I could never let it go. Like even if I wanted to let it go and not pursue the dream, I would literally last like a day, and then the next day I'd be like, no, fuck this. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I'm not giving up. It really taught me to be resilient and determined and not give up on your dreams. Yeah.
Love it, man. Hey, side note, is that shirt wet?
No.
It looks wet. But
it's got like a pattern on it.
Yeah, it's got to be the pattern, and then is it like a silk or like okay?
Yeah.
Random change of subject there, but no, I really appreciate that, and I think that we take those lessons for granted, right? Because as much as you want to compete the last 4 or 5 years, you can't put a price on having a tangible level of gratitude in your life. You can't put a price on integrity. You mentioned that you're a more honest person now. Like these are things that they transcend sport, and the virtues of life I think are far more valuable than championships long term. And that's just my personal opinion. But so that's it's a huge lesson to learn. And like we were talking about, like I wish I would have learned without the tough lessons. Like someone should have just handed that to me on a plate, but that wasn't the case.
I don't think you develop into the person you're meant to be without those failures and lessons you learn.
Absolutely. Ricky, if you were to describe yourself in 3 words, or maybe if like your brother or someone close to you would describe you in 3 words, what would they be?
I don't know. Maybe funny. Funny. Caring. And maybe just like quietly savage. Whatever the word is for that.
I don't know that there is a word for that. But I would probably agree. Certainly quiet and certainly savage. So if you just want to put those together, that's fine. You can have 4 words either way. Where are you from originally? Like, where were you born?
I was born in a town called Barrel, which is about 5 minutes from where I live now, which is a town called Mittagong. It's in like a place we call the Southern Highlands. It's just like made up of all little small towns. But yeah, it's about 45 minutes from the ocean.
Okay. Soroka, can you pull a map of that up while we're chatting? I want to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
So where's Mittagong on this?
Mittagong. Mittagong.
Mittagong?
Mitta. From Mitta, bro.
Okay. So and then you're like 45 minutes from the ocean. That's how far that is from the coast?
Yeah, so I used to live in Wollongong, which is like directly to the coast. You can see it on the right-hand side there.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived there for about 2.5 years. Like the last 2.5 years.
Okay, that's where your brother's gym is, Benny?
Yeah. That's where my brother's home gym is, but where Benton is in Mittagong.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, so,
and
Mittagong's where my parents are, and that's where we grew up.
Okay, cool. And how'd you hear about CrossFit? How'd you first hear about? Thank you, Soroka. How'd you first hear about CrossFit?
Yeah, so through my brother, he was in the army, the Australian Army, and he got introduced to CrossFit through there, and kind of that style of training. And when he got out of the army and come home, I was probably 17, going on 18, and he like introduced it to me and told me about it. And I used to see some of the videos of him doing it in the army and stuff. And pretty much I was just playing footy at the time. I think you guys call it rugby. But yeah, he literally we went down to the local gym where I'd been training since I was about, I don't know, 15 or 16, just pumping iron, having no clue what I was doing, just trying to get big because I was a skinny little runt. And we started doing CrossFit there at the 24-hour gym and just watching Rich Froning on YouTube and pretty much trying to teach ourselves how to weightlift and do kipping pull-ups and handstand push-ups and all that crazy stuff.
Do you remember your first CrossFit workout?
Yeah, it was 12.1, 7 minutes max burpees. Horrendous.
What a simple workout. Do you remember how many you did?
112.
Wow.
I think there's a video of it on YouTube.
Of you doing that like 10 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
Soroka, you got to find that video.
You can find it.
We're not going to watch the whole thing, but we'll watch like the ending or something.
Yeah, they're like the roof was like too short to be able to do the ring touch for the burpee. So we like took a panel out of the roof and like hung a wooden ring out of the roof to like make sure we could hit the standard for the burpee. Yeah, this is it.
This is Fitness, Ricky Garard, doing the 12.1 CrossFit Games.
Yeah, boy.
7 minutes of burpees.
Have a go at it.
Stopwatches, 6 inches.
Can't burpee like that now. Wow. How's the music? In the T-back.
You look so different, but your brother doesn't look any different.
Yeah, not really.
He was a little older, so he was probably already more developed at that time.
Yeah, I was pretty late to develop.
I feel you. That might have been a no rep. I don't know.
chest in it again.
Yeah.
We were wearing the Vibrams and T-back singlets.
Yo, honestly, it's probably still a better score than I would get today. But you had your youth. My first one was Fran.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
for us, it was like, because I was a bodybuilder back then, it was strict Fran. So I think it took, maybe 20 to 30 minutes to do it. And we recovered for probably 20, 30 minutes because like we're doing strict pull-ups and we're doing strict, we called it squat to overhead press back then. You know what I mean? Like, so you're just straight squat.
Not even touching your shoulders.
Yeah, like straight, holding it in a pressing position, squat, press, squat, press. And so afterward, I mean, it's a hell of a pump for a bodybuilder, but
yeah, could have been.
So you played footy, you played rugby. What other sports did you play growing up?
Yeah, so I played rugby and I played heaps of touch as well. And then
what is that?
It's like rugby, but instead of tackle, you just go touch.
Just boring rugby.
Yeah. Yeah, then I was into athletics and cross country in school. Did snowboarding, raced motorbikes. And yeah, that was about my main sports. But I pretty much participated in any sport.
Could you have taken any of those sports professionally, you think?
Maybe flat track, like the motorbike racing. When I was 18, I had a decision to make between that and footy. I was like looking at trying to get over here to America to race flat track and like speedway and stuff on motorbikes. But I ended up choosing rugby and I went down that path.
Did you go to school for rugby? Like, did you go to college and play rugby?
Yeah, we played at school, but it wasn't like a rugby school. It was just like a normal public school. And yeah, footy was like a big sport at our school.
Got it. And growing up in Australia, like you said, you wanted to come to America to race the motorbikes. Is that like, do people grow up in Australia wanting to come to America?
Yeah, pretty much. Like if you're involved in motorbikes, like the biggest like sports and biggest contracts and all that are over here in America. I currently got 2 young guys from Australia crushing it in the motocross and supercross over here right now. I don't know if you've heard of him, but one of them's like 18 and he's already won like 2 titles. And his brother, well, his name's Jet. His brother Hunter Lawrence, he's 2 or 3 years older. He's like right up there as well. So yeah, motorbike's pretty big in Australia. But
that's awesome. I don't know much about that.
Yeah, outside of that, if you want to like pursue rugby, like you stay in Australia. Like Australia's a great country for rugby. Like both sides of rugby union and rugby league. But yeah.
Did you ever play traditional football?
Like gridiron?
I don't even.
Soccer.
Yeah, like no, not soccer. Like American football.
Nah. I've mucked around playing it on the beach. That's about it. But I've never played an actual game.
Wow. So that's so interesting. Yeah. So like, do you guys grow up watching NFL, like the football over here at all?
Nah, not at all. I didn't get into NFL until like obviously I knew Tom Brady and I didn't really understand it all. Some kids at school like follow it and watch it and stuff, but it's not really a thing that you do over there. Like it wasn't until I came here to America that I started to understand it more and follow it.
That's wild to me. So as big as NFL is in America, what is the sport in Australia? Is it rugby? Like everyone
footy.
watches rugby?
Yeah, footy, yeah, rugby league. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, we have like there's a big match on Wednesday called the State of Origin, which is like probably the biggest game of rugby league.
So it's like the Super Bowl?
Yeah, similar. It's like New South Wales, which is the state of Australia, versus Queensland, which is the northern state. And yeah, it's like a massive rivalry between those 2 states in like every sport. Like when you're growing up as kids, it's like when you versus Queensland, it's like you're gonna win or you're gonna die.
Are you gonna watch that like in the middle of the night or something?
Yeah, I gotta figure out what time it's on, but yeah, I really want to watch it because it's a decider. It's best of 3, and it's the last game, so they both won a game each. So it's whoever wins on Wednesday night.
You gotta get off social media and tell your friends not to tell you about it.
Yeah.
And then we just gotta like TiVo it, or I don't even know if that word is relevant anymore. We just gotta like watch it in American time.
And without knowing the results. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'm down. I'd love to watch that.
Yeah, it's sick. You would love it.
100% down. I think Maddie might be down too. I can't speak for him, but if it's Wednesday night or Thursday night, for sure.
Yeah, I'll try to work it out. I'll let you know.
Let me know. We'll figure that out. Ricky, what's your favorite movie, or maybe top 3 favorite movies ever? I know Top Gun is now your favorite movie.
Yeah.
Aside from Top Gun, what movie comes to mind?
Aside from last night's Top Gun. I like The Longest Yard. Longest Yard's good.
Speaking of football.
The Ringer, Johnny Knoxville. That cracks me up. That's a good movie.
All right. If you were going to be a character in any movie, who would you be?
Yeah, him. Johnny Knoxville.
The Ringer?
The Ringer.
Sirocco, bring that up real quick. Bring a clip of The Ringer up.
That's like how I act around people that I'm very comfortable with.
Around your people. I love that. Can't wait to see that.
Maybe not that extreme, but similar. Just a big doofus. Have you watched it?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Might have to rewatch it soon. I remember it though. Soroka, you can pull it off now. So you're
Funny movie.
So you're in Las Vegas. You're prepping for the CrossFit Games. How long have you been in Vegas?
Just over a week now.
And when do you go to Madison?
I go to Madison 23rd of July.
What's that going to look like there? Is it kind of tone down your training, get comfortable, prep your mindset?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Start tapering off a bit with the training and just settle into the climate and the time zone. I know it's pretty similar to here, but still 2 hours can make a bit of a difference. So settle into that, get comfortable with the environment, get some gym sessions in, maybe suss out any clues or whatever else comes out.
Yeah, go walk the streets of Madison from the stadium to downtown.
Yeah, for sure. Suss it out.
On the Savon podcast lately, they do their, like with Brian Fran, they do a really great job of kind of diving into the analytics of, what the CrossFit Games field looks like for men and women. And one of the comments that kind of keeps coming up is that the open doesn't matter, at least for people of your caliber. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter like a lot, but obviously you just want to get to the next stage. Same with the quarterfinals. Obviously the goal is just to make it to the next stage each time, but in my perspective, I think I like to do well in each competition because it's just a way for me to build confidence and like kind of get a bit of a mental game going with the other athletes and try and come out on top so that you just got that extra confidence, especially when it comes to in person. If you've beat them before, then you kind of have just that little bit of edge.
Yeah,
which I like to have.
So when you did the open, did you do it like to the best of your ability? Would you say 95%, 85%?
Yeah, probably 100%. Gave it everything I had for every workout. One of
the quotes that Savon kept saying, or that he kept trying to say, is how you do anything is how you do everything.
I believe
it. What do your parents do? Are they athletic? Are they into sports and stuff like that?
Yeah, they're super athletic growing up. Dad was a big footy player, rugby league. So he played, I think, like 10 or 12 games professionally, like first grade. But he was always like on the cusp of first grade. And my mum was a high-level netball player and touch player.
What is netball?
Netball, it's like women's. I wouldn't say women's. It's like basketball, similar to basketball, but when you catch the ball, you can't run. You can only take one step.
All right, Soroka, I hope you're pulling that up. I'm learning so much. I was so excited to talk, because I don't know anything about Australia. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm pretty sure America has a netball team at the Olympics.
See, the Olympics is so much different than everyday like
sports you grow up with.
Like I grew up in a public school setting. We didn't have lacrosse and rugby and netball. We had baseball, football. We didn't even have soccer.
Basically just a game played with 7 players on each side.
Very popular women's sport.
So they have to shoot,
basically every third,
but nobody can block them?
Yeah, you can try and block them. You can't jump though. You can just like put your hand up. But as soon as you catch it like that, you can only take one step.
Oh, that's kind of like rugby, right? Like you can run with the ball in rugby.
Yeah, you can run with the ball.
It's kind of like ultimate frisbee.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta
You
see
only
him
take a
play.
couple of steps before one step before you have to throw it.
Right, yeah.
That's so interesting.
They catch it and they can pivot on one foot before they pass it.
It doesn't seem like an intense game. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
A little less
apparently it gets
intense.
physical and real bitchy, which I could imagine.
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Soroka. So your mom played netball. She was good?
Yeah, she was good. Yeah, they're both school teachers. My mum's primary school and my dad's like behavior disorder school. So pretty much all the kids in the area that get kicked out of school go to his school.
Got it. I was almost that kid, so I know a lot of them.
And he's helped a lot of kids turn their lives around and get jobs and all that stuff. So
that's so cool.
He's a bit of a saint.
That's really cool, man. And you're still close with your family?
Yeah, super close. Yeah, they're both coming up to watch the games.
Heck yeah,
which would be cool.
If you weren't pursuing CrossFit as a sport, what would you be doing professionally or as a career? Like, did you have an interest in doing something specific?
Yeah. Footy was my childhood dream growing up. So rugby league, wanted to play what they call NRL, National Rugby League, and I was on the path to that. From pretty much played it from 8 years old, and then up until I was 17, I got a contract with Canberra Raiders, which is one of the teams that are a part of the NRL. And I went there for 3 years and played under 20s, like semi-professional league, and that's kind of the steps to cracking the big league. And during my time there, well, I started doing CrossFit to help with my rugby, and then so I never had an interest in competing in CrossFit. And then during that rugby kind of pursuit of making a career out of it, my brother was doing CrossFit and he went to the games in 2015, and that was kind of the year where I was too old for the under 20s. So kind of from that age, you kind of step into the big boys, which I did have an opportunity for, which they call like reserve grade. But after I watched my brother at the games, I made the decision to give rugby a flick and start pursuing CrossFit and trying to
How did Benny do at the games in 2015?
He came 15th.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Did he win any? What were you saying?
Yeah, he did well. 15th.
Did he win any events or anything?
No, he didn't. I think 5th was his best placing, I think, in the swim paddle event. Yeah.
That's, shoot, just to be at the games, right, is like a huge enough accomplishment. To get 15th is even better, man. So you guys are clearly designed to be athletes. If you weren't doing rugby or you weren't doing CrossFit, though, what could you see yourself doing? Would you be teaching?
Yeah, I'd probably have like a gym and do coaching and stuff like that. I love working with like kind of like teenagers, kind of like guiding teenagers to pursue their dreams and goals and kind of help them in fitness and strength. And I think I can see myself kind of coaching that sort of age group.
What's your proudest moment as a kid or a young adult that you can recall?
As a kid, probably. I'm trying to think. Like sporting moment.
Whatever. Could be anything.
I don't know. there was like this one. It was in cross country. There was this place that they always took us as part of the qualifying process to get from district to regionals to state to nationals, and there's a place called Heartbreak Hill.
Well, it's not the worst way to be frozen.
Did we lose him briefly?
I think momentarily we are at a loss, but mesmerizing me with that frozen look.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Very mystical.
See if
You probably got a
if you-
phone call or something.
yeah, that's true. It probably paused it.
Am I good on your end, Soroka? It's not
Yeah.
me.
No, you're good. Yeah, if he's on his phone, he may have gotten a call or something like that, which inevitably paused the stream. Ironically,
Well, we'll find out.
I just heard he'll probably come back here in a second. I heard that the top 4 teams in South America tested positive.
All of them?
That's what I heard, yeah. And I'm getting that from a trusted source that you and I both know.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
So,
Breaking news on
but-
the Athlete Stories podcast.
and if it's not true, you didn't hear it here.
We don't know where you heard that from, but we're gonna pull the clip from here.
Exactly. That's crazy.
Oh
right?
man, can you pull up Benny? I want to see Benny at the games,
Yeah.
please. These guys are fit, man.
Super fit. Trying to find some clips of him from the games. What year was that? You say
2015.
2015.
15, yeah. I'm gonna text Ricky.
Not much on the.
His phone overheated.
Oh, that'll take
Go
a couple.
figure.
That's
Freaking Las
hilarious.
Vegas, bro. You can't even sit in your car on your phone for too long out here.
Yeah, he looks like he's back. There he is.
Hey, I'm back. Man, sorry about that. My phone overheated.
It's hot out there.
Yeah.
I saw when we were
It's about the 10th time that's happened.
looking up your hometown in Australia.
Yeah.
I noticed they had the temperature there is 38 degrees. It's wild.
Yeah, it's winter.
Yeah,
I don't even understand it.
me either.
Geography was never my thing, but
I thought it was just warm there all the time.
yeah, like everyone's surfing all the time.
That's literally what I thought. Yeah. So
Yeah,
And they-
if you live on the coast.
And they all look like Con, just long hair.
Yeah.
Ricky's the only one with short hair in all of Australia.
that's funny.
Pretty much.
Ricky, what we were talking about your proudest memory. You were running cross country. You were
Yeah.
at some hill.
Yeah, Heartbreak Hill at Canberra. It's like and I competed there from from year 5 to year 12, and it was like I just remember like being stoked in year 12 that I was able to win every time I went there, and yeah, no one was ever able to beat me through the whole schooling cross country days.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't have any athletic experiences like that, so have to say that takes the cake.
Yeah, and then probably just heaps of grand final moments. When I was playing rugby league, because my dad was the coach he pretty much coached our footy team from when I was 8 till 18, and we pretty much played the grand final every year. So sometimes we won, sometimes we lost, but we always had some great memories with all my mates who are still mates like back home now. And there's always some awesome memories and old photos that pop up of when we won the grand final.
That's sick.
Real quick, not to interrupt, but is that a photo of Mitch holding a koala?
I'm in Mitch's office.
Is there a photo of Mitch holding a koala?
Yeah, it is.
Is it? I just saw that, and it looks like a koala, and I just had to bring it up. I'm sorry. That's awesome.
And he has a beard. What?
Yeah. Too good.
It's been to Australia, Gold Coast.
I was gonna say you probably know that koala, right? I mean, isn't that?
Yeah. It's Johnny.
Johnny.
Right.
He's a good fella.
Good old Johnny.
Oh boy.
What's your earliest memory in life? Your first memory?
Seeing my mum.
He's living up to that first descriptive word of himself. Funny.
Man, so you remember being born? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, definitely don't remember that. I remember being on a motorbike. I was like on a little PB 50, and I remember I was probably like 4 years old, and I was like fanging it around the house, and I come around the house, and my cousin was coming the other way on her motorbike, and I like freaked out and tried to dodge it, and I just went straight under the house and like co-danged myself. And yeah, I didn't really get hurt. I just carried on like a silk and cried to mum.
Yeah, nobody gets hurt at 4. He would just cry anyways.
Pretty much.
Wow. What's the toughest experience you've ever had to, go through in life? It could be, dealing with the CrossFit stuff, or it could be something before that.
Yeah, probably the CrossFit ban is probably the hardest thing that I've had to go through. It was definitely took a toll on me, like mentally, especially for the first kind of year. I was just kind of trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with my life. Yeah, that was probably the hardest thing.
Did you cope in a certain way? Like, for example, I mean, in my life, I deal with something, I'm Googling a book to read about it. You know what I mean? I'm looking up expert information. But what did you do? Did you kind of read? Did you just take it out in the gym? Was there
I probably say I took it out on the gym, but sometimes that was making it worse because it was still so close to home, still in the same environment that kind of made me feel like that. So I pretty much just got outdoors, just went mountain biking, and I at the time my ex-girlfriend, we had made the commitment to move north to a place called Yeppoon in Queensland, which is like a tropical kind of place with like an island you can go out to that's like 20 minutes off the water, and there's mountains. You go mountain biking, hiking, and it's just like a really cool place. So I lived there for the first kind of 8-9 months during my ban, and I think being there kind of helped. Like, I was a little bit away from family and home and friends and stuff, but in a way I think that kind of helped me just kind of deal with it on my own and just kind of not have too many people close to home like always asking me if I'm all right. And
yeah,
it was kind of just a good way to just like deal with it on my own and toughen up and just not be I just kind of distracted myself.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I am a dual major in psychology and marketing, and so I study a lot of psychology. I read a lot about it. Super interested in it. And one of the things that they talk about with both different people, but soldiers specifically in these studies, that in Vietnam got addicted to heroin, and they would get off of the heroin until they re-enlisted or redeployed back to wherever they started it. And the same thing happens to drug addicts, where if they're into drugs in a certain household or in a certain community, and they go to rehab or go away and get off of it, and then they come back, they get right back on it. And the same thing applies to like PTSD victims, which I would say this is more relevant, like the trauma, like the post-traumatic stress, like going back to the gym in the same neighborhood. It's hard to get over something if you're like replaying it every day.
Yeah.
So I don't remember like the phrase, because there's phrases for every psychological phenomena, but getting out of that element, whether it's, you know, the island that you went to or anywhere new where people aren't always asking you how you're doing, while you're not going to the same gym and you're putting chalk on your hands in the same corner and you're having little memories. So yeah, I think that speaks a lot to how to kind of get over trauma. Is like, you got to displace yourself for a time. Not everybody has that luxury, but
pretty much exactly what I did.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
I think your consistency is a testament to how valuable this pursuit is for you. You know what I mean? Like 4 years later, most people would be they'd be doing something totally different.
Yeah.
You know, so that's admirable, man. I know I'm excited. I can't speak for Soroka, but I was excited for the comeback.
Yeah. Really good. I know when I was at Torian, and it all come to an end, and all the results are in, and we're all like in a room together and stuff, and the athletes in there, like Tia and Cara and Baden and all that in there, they were like kind of saying like, man, how the hell are you still here? Like, props to you. Like, got to give you credit for getting back to the games. Like, I probably would have given up and gotten a day job and just lived a normal, boring life.
Not for you. Not for me either, man.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Did they welcome you? Was it kind of hostile?
It was pretty good. Everyone was super respectful and nice, and the whole weekend went smooth, and the crowd was awesome. The crowd was cheering me on and going off, and I had no one try and stir me up or get on my bad side, so it was good.
Yeah, lucky for them. So you've done, since you've come off your ban, you've done Dubai, and then you did Torian. That plus, 4 or 5 years ago, who's one of your favorite people to compete with or against?
In Dubai, I enjoyed competing against Lazar Duki. He was good fun. I had a bit of like banter in the warm up area and kind of like friendly banter and stuff, and kind of just making assumptions before the workout, like who's going to win, and kind of they would ask me like, oh, what are you going to break the muscle ups in, or what are you going to do the thrusters in, and I'd just make up some bullshit just to try and scare them. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm broken. I'm just gonna hold on. Why would I drop it? But I think at the start they were kind of like, oh, this guy's crazy. But I think towards the end they got that I was being sarcastic.
Yeah. Did you learn anything from competing against Matt? Because I don't know, but I've heard that Matt likes to mess with people's head in competition.
Yeah, for sure. I did enjoy competing against Matt in 2017. Would have loved to do it again, but obviously that's not going to happen. So, but he's a good competitor. I can see where he was coming from now that I'm a bit older and a bit more experienced. And but he was into me pretty good as a rookie. He was grabbing my legs and squeezing it as hard as he could, and when I was sore and like my hands were all ripped up, and he was like asked me if I was gonna be alright, you poor baby, and all this stuff. And then, like in the warm up for the 1 RM snatch, he like hit my max, and he's like in the bottom of the snatch, and he's like looks across him over to me. He's like, "Hey Ricky, isn't this your max?" And then he like stands it up and slams it.
Is that like 275, 280? He's just doing in the warm up area.
Yeah, I think it was 275 or something there.
Wow.
And I was like, "Yeah, it won't be soon." And he's like, "You gonna PB out there?" And I was like, "Yeah, watch me."
I think you did PR, right?
Yeah. 287 out there.
What are we gonna do this year? What are you thinking?
Ooh, 300, baby.
The 3. What's your favorite CrossFit workout? If you could choose, if you could make up a workout, what would it be?
Probably.
Is it a chipper or a rounds for time?
Don't know. Either would be fine, but maybe for time.
Okay.
Just like 1 round for time. So yeah, a chipper.
All right. I'm writing this down. We're gonna make this workout up. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna try it this week.
800-meter run.
All right. I already hate it. Keep going.
21 ring muscle ups.
All right.
400-meter sled drag.
Drag, or like we're dragging it or we're pushing it?
Like drag, like put a
Got
harness on your shoulders.
How much weight?
Maybe for like 220s. So what's that? 90 pound on the sled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we'll just write 220.
Yeah.
So we're running 800. We're doing 21 ring muscle ups, 400-meter sled drag. What else?
15 clean and jerks.
What's the weight?
185.
All right.
And then a 200-meter farmer's carry with 232, so 70 pounds each hand.
Oh, yeah. 232 kilo kettlebells.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then 9. Oh no, 9. 9. Ooh. Shit. Got me stumped. Maybe we make the 9s the clean and jerks.
Okay.
And make the 15s burpee box get overs at 48 inch. When you can use your hand.
All right. 800-meter run buy-in, 21 ring muscle ups, 400-meter sled drag, 15 burpee box get overs, 200-meter farmer carry, 9 clean and jerks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jared, you do that this week, and then you let me, and then based upon how it goes for you, I'll do it.
Bro, that's going to take me like 2 days.
Yeah, the rest of the week.
800-meter run, you're like, 4 minutes. 21 ring muscle ups. If I'm lucky.
One day.
One day. 3 minutes, if I'm like doing 7 a minute on the minute. And yeah, if I'm hopefully. And then 400-meter sled drag. I mean, I have no idea, but probably 3 times as long as a 400-meter run. So like 6 minutes.
6 minutes, yeah.
So we're at 13 minutes, and then 15 burpee box get overs. That's for me, that's probably the easiest part of the workout. But a minute and a half, 2 minutes. We'll say 2 minutes. So we're at freaking 17 minutes. 200-meter farmer's carry. I don't even know. Another 2 minutes. At 19 minutes. Clean and jerks. You know, at this point, hopefully a minute. Hopefully a minute. Probably not though. But so it's 20-minute.
185 or 225?
Huh?
Should we stick with 185 or go 225? We'll go 180.
I mean, at this point, after doing all that, I still think 185 is pretty freaking challenging.
Yeah.
If I'm writing this for a games athlete, then 225.
Yeah. You can go 185.
Thank you, Ricky. Dude, I like it. That's kind of like that workout at Torian. What was the strongman Diane?
Yeah, strongman Diane. Yeah. 21, 15, 9 deficit with that sandbag, the farmer carry, then the yoke in between.
All right. Well, thank you for that, I guess.
Can't wait to see you do it.
Yeah, I know. You'll be there. So maybe Wednesday.
Yeah,
or Friday. If you could put anything up on a big blank billboard over the busiest intersection that you know, what would it say?
I'm not going to say the first word that comes to my head.
What's the second thing that comes to mind?
These nuts. No. I don't know. Maybe stand up for yourself.
Love it. A little different than D's nuts, but that was the ringer coming out of you.
Yeah, it was.
How much of CrossFit, like the sport of CrossFit, like at the elite level, do you think is, if you were going to like do a pie graph of percentages, how much percentage would you attribute to hard work and how much would you attribute to genetics?
Man, I think CrossFit is a great sport that has proven that genetics doesn't really make a massive, it does make a difference, but CrossFit's proven that there's people with not the greatest genetics that can still work hard and be one of the best at the sport. But percentage-wise, I'd say maybe 20% genetics, 80% hard work.
Who's your favorite, Mario or Luigi?
Ooh, neither. If I had to make a choice, probably Mario.
All right. Why neither? Are you not a fan of Mario?
I'm more of a Yoshi guy.
Okay. Not a Bowser guy?
You look like a Bowser guy.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but thank you.
I don't know.
Are you beach or mountains?
Ooh, mountains.
Oh, wow. The Aussie chose mountains. Summer or winter?
Summer.
What was your favorite cartoon show as a kid?
Probably The Simpsons.
Where does Dragon Ball Z live on that ranking of your favorite cartoons?
Oh, he's pretty far down.
Oh man,
I didn't get into it.
Don't tell Maddie that.
Sorry, man.
If you could choose to talk to animals or understand all human languages, which would you choose?
Talk to animals.
What? Why?
Sure.
And which animal?
All of them. It's so cool.
Like, is there one in particular that you're just like dying to talk to?
Maybe a dolphin.
Well, I think that they do communicate pretty well as is.
I used to do a dolphin noise when I was in primary school. They used to call me Dolphin Boy.
What do they call you now?
I can't do it now because my balls dropped.
Yeah, that is a an unfortunate series of events that happens in the life of a male. What do you have a nickname now?
Monkey Boy.
Why do they call you Monkey Boy?
I don't know, because I run around like a monkey and act like a monkey. Big.
Good to know. Man, last but not least, Ricky, after everything's said and done in life and when you're old and gray, how do you want people to remember you?
Yeah, just the bloke that never gave up on his dreams and always was there for other people and put his family first and loves everyone that was around him. And talented and hardworking man.
Love it. What can we expect to see at the CrossFit Games this year?
Something you've never seen before and that I've never seen before. I think I'm definitely going to go to new levels that nobody, including myself, has seen.
Wow. That's way to build up some friggin' hype. Awesome. Well, Ricky, thanks again for jumping on. Thanks for making the time for the show. Thank you for potentially sacrificing the livelihood of your cell phone to jump on this podcast, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm excited to see you tomorrow at training, but for sure excited to see you at the games this year.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you, Jared.